To not learn how to react, learn how to respond. Every morning we are born again. What we do today is what matters most. Once you know the nature of anger and joy is empty and you let them go, you free yourself from karma. Better than 1,000 hollow words is one word that brings peace. The tongue, like a sharp knife, kills without drawing blood. In today's world, it's easy to get wrapped up in the seemingly never-ending cycle of reactions. We see something happen, and our first instinct is to react to it, whether that's with our words, our actions, or even just our thoughts. But what if we took a step back and chose not to react? It's not always easy, but learning to control our reactions can be incredibly powerful. When we don't allow our initial reactions to control us, we open up the opportunity to respond in a more thoughtful, level-headed way. We can take the time to really understand the situation and figure out the best way to move forward. Of course, there are times when reacting is the right thing to do, but far too often, we react without thinking, which can lead to negative consequences. The next time you're faced with a situation, ask yourself if reacting is really the best option. You might be surprised at the power of simply not reacting. Number 1. Emotional stability. There are countless studies that suggest emotional stability is key to a happy and successful life. But what does emotional stability actually mean? And how can we achieve it? The first step to achieving emotional stability is to understand what it actually is. Emotional stability is the ability to manage our emotions effectively, without being overwhelmed by them. It means being able to regulate our emotions so that they don't take over our lives. One of the main things that can help us to achieve emotional stability is to learn how to not react to every situation. This doesn't mean that we should bottle up our emotions and never express them. But it does mean that we should try to take a step back and assess the situation before reacting. This can be difficult, but it's important to remember that not every situation warrants an emotional reaction. If we can learn to control our reactions, we will be much more emotionally stable. There are many different techniques that can help us to achieve emotional stability. One of the most effective is meditation. Meditation helps us to focus and center ourselves so that we can better deal with the emotions that come up. It teaches us to not get caught up in our thoughts and to let them go. This is an essential skill for emotional stability, as it allows us to not get overwhelmed by our emotions. Another helpful technique is journaling. This can be a great way to work through our emotions and to understand them better. It can also help us to see the situations that trigger our emotions so that we can avoid them in the future. Emotional stability is an important part of a happy and successful life. It's not always easy to achieve, but it is possible. By learning to not react to every situation and by using techniques like meditation and journaling, we can start to develop emotional stability. Number 2. Enhanced decision-making. It is easy to get caught up in the heat of the moment and react to a situation without thinking things through. We have all been there before. But what if we could learn to control our reactions and instead take a step back to assess the situation? In many cases, reacting too quickly can lead to poor decision-making. We may say or do something that we later regret. By learning to control our reactions, we can give ourselves time to think things through and make enhanced decisions. There are several benefits to enhanced decision-making. For one, we can avoid making rash decisions that we may later regret. We can also take the time to consider all of our options and make an informed decision. In some cases, enhanced decision-making can even help us to diffuse a tense or difficult situation. If we can take a step back and assess the situation, we may be able to find a peaceful resolution. Learning to control our reactions takes practice. The next time you find yourself in a situation where you feel the urge to react, take a deep breath and count to 10. This will give you a moment to collect your thoughts and assess the situation. With a clear mind, you will be better equipped to make an informed decision. Number 3. Improve relationships. If you find yourself in a situation where you feel the need to react, take a step back and think about the possible consequences of your actions. Oftentimes, reacting without thinking can lead to more problems than if you had just stayed calm and collected. In personal relationships, being able to control your reactions can be extremely important. If you are able to not react to every little thing, you will likely find that your relationships are more stable and less drama-filled. This is because when you react to things, you are often acting out of emotion rather than logic. When you take the time to think about your actions before you take them, you are more likely to make decisions that will benefit both you and the people you care about. Not reacting can also help you to maintain your composure in difficult situations. If you can keep your cool, you are more likely to be able to think clearly and make rational decisions. This is especially important in the workplace, where it is often essential to be able to stay calm under pressure. Overall, not reacting to every situation that you find yourself in can be extremely beneficial. It can help to improve your relationships and make you more effective in the workplace. The next time you feel the urge to react, take a step back and consider the possible consequences of your actions. Number 4. Increased self-control. There are many benefits that come with practicing self-control. When we are able to not react to every situation, we become more in tune with ourselves and our surroundings. We become more aware of our thoughts and feelings, and we are better able to manage them. This increased self-awareness can lead to greater peace of mind and increased happiness. Self-control also allows us to be more thoughtful and deliberate in our actions. We are less likely to make impulsive decisions that we may later regret. We can take the time to consider all the options and choose the one that is best for us. This can lead to improved relationships, better job performance, and other areas of life. Lastly, self-control can help us to better deal with stress and difficult situations. When we are able to not react to every situation, we are better able to handle the challenges that come our way. We can approach difficult situations with a more level head and make decisions that are in our best interest. Practicing self-control can be difficult, but it is definitely worth it. The benefits that come with it are numerous and can really improve your life in many ways. So if you are looking to make a change, start with practicing self-control in your everyday life. Number 5. Reduce stress and anxiety. There are so many things in life that we can't control. The traffic, the weather, other people. It can be really easy to get wrapped up in trying to control everything and everyone around us. But the reality is we can't. The only thing we can control is ourselves and how we react to every situation. If we can learn to not react to every situation, we can reduce a lot of stress and anxiety in our lives. Reacting usually just makes things worse. It's like that saying, "Don't make a drama out of a crisis." When we react, we are usually just emotional and not thinking clearly. This can lead to us making bad decisions or making the situation worse than it needs to be. If we can step back and take a breath before reacting, we can often diffuse the situation and make better decisions. This doesn't mean we don't care about what's happening. It just means we are taking a more measured and calm approach. Of course, there will be times when we need to react, but if we can learn to not react to every little thing, we will be much better off. We will be less stressed, less anxious, and we will be able to better handle whatever life throws our way. Number 6. Cultivating mindfulness. The power of not reacting every situations. We've all been there before. We're in the middle of a heated argument with someone and we say something we regret. Or we're at work and we get a last-minute project that completely derails our day. Or we're out with friends and we see someone we don't want to see. In each of these situations, it's easy to react without thinking. We might say something we don't mean, we might get angry or upset, or we might do something we later regret. However, if we can step back and not react in the moment, we can save ourselves a lot of grief. Instead of reacting, we can take a step back and cultivate mindfulness. Mindfulness is the practice of being present in the moment and observing our thoughts and emotions without judgment. When we're mindful, we're not attached to our thoughts and emotions. We're simply observing them. This can be a difficult practice, but it's one that can be incredibly helpful, especially in situations where we tend to react without thinking. When we're mindful, we're able to see our thoughts and emotions for what they are, without getting caught up in them. We're able to see that they're just thoughts and emotions, and they don't have to control us. This can be incredibly helpful in situations where we might otherwise react without thinking. If we can step back and observe our thoughts and emotions without judgment, we can make better decisions about how to respond to them.